Hi everybody, and welcome to our capstone presentations for students who are finishing up the IDN program at the end of 2016. We are really excited to see what everyone has done throughout the final semester in the program. And to start things off, I will turn it over to Tangee.
Hello, everyone. Welcome, and I'm happy to be able to kick this off. So this is a project that I've developed, which is an orientation for sound learning, which is the nonprofit adult basic education program that I work in here in Shelton, Washington. Let's see, I don't remember if sorry. So sound learning has a mission of providing alternative education opportunities for adults to help them gain self-sufficiency and improve their literacy and develop the skills they need to succeed in their career and in other ways. This video is actually some of my students in class. And so we needed to develop an orientation program because we have a rolling admissions policy, and so a lot of times students don't have a proper orientation to the program necessarily before they start. They'll start kind of mid-quarter and things like that. And so there are a few things that we wanted to include in this orientation besides just information about the program. Like many adult learning programs, we have a problem with student attrition, and so we wanted to add in some content that would address some of the student persistence issues. So there have been a lot of studies that show that having a strong orientation can improve student persistence in the program by addressing the effective needs of learners, and those are a sense of belonging, a clarity of purpose, agency, relevance, competence, and stability. So we wanted to address those things in the orientation. And then we also wanted to address barriers to learning. According to McCluskey's theory of margins, the motivation for learning should be higher than the barriers to learning if you want students to successfully be able to learn. And so a lot of our students, come into the program, as you can imagine, with adult basic education, with a lot of barriers to learning, things like lack of transportation or childcare or really knowledge of the systems that they're using. And so we wanted to add into this orientation some planning for how to deal with barriers to learning. So the main goals of the orientation are, both to orient the students to the processes and procedures at the program, but also with the goal of increasing the number of students who maintain enrollment and don't just fall by the wayside and drop out, and also increasing the number of students, the percentage of students that complete the program within 4 quarters, because we do sometimes have students that take more than a year, much longer than a year. And we'd like to get that number down by having students kind of understanding about attendance and coming more regularly and having addressed some of their barriers to learning and completion of the program. So the design choices, the overall design of the orientation has been structured to improve the learning outcomes for the students. The choice is made to build the orientation using Adobe Captivate because many of the incoming students lack strong computer skills. They generally have the ability to perform computer tasks like turning it on and using a mouse, but they don't necessarily have the ability to operate Canvas, the LMS that we use. And that's also why a part of the program, the Guided Pathways document, we're doing it as a printed hard copy because they're not all familiar with typing or using word processing documents or saving documents on computers. So we wanted to reduce the cognitive load for them of doing this part of the project by having it something that they can do, having it as something that they can do in a written hard copy form, rather than having to also address all of those other issues at the same time. The structural supports are in place to lower the cognitive and metacognitive load on the learners. These include a consistent theme throughout the entire project so that students don't have to reorient themselves with each module. We use simple back and forward navigational buttons to lead the learners through the important instructional elements. They have frequent and detailed feedback throughout the modules, help them understand their progress. And while it's important to have some learner-controlled links for optional and enrichment content, which we do, we don't have links that allow them to bypass any of the important content. Those are limited. Additionally, each module begins with a video introduction, kind of like this guy here, which it does a couple of things. It encourages the learner in the video introduction to follow the sequence of instruction. It also employs pre-training to reduce the cognitive load by introducing important elements of each module. Also, it utilizes the personalization and voice principles, which are shown to increase learning in asynchronous situations. And then finally, there are also voiceovers on each slide, both to utilize the voice principle as well as assist students who may have low literacy skills. Not all of our students are great at reading, not all of them are great at reading comprehension, not all of them are great at reading in English. So having the voiceovers is really, really helpful for them. Let's see. All right. In each of the modules, aspects of the affective needs of learners are addressed. In the first module, Welcome to Sound Learning, it begins to address the student affective need of sense of belonging and community by introducing the students to the staff and the volunteers and setting the expectations for the class. The second module, Adult Basic Studies tracks, gives students the information that they need about the two tracks available in the Basic Studies class, which are the High School 21 program and the GED program. And it gives them that information and allows them to help determine what is the best track for them, which addresses both the sense of agency and a clarity of purpose in the program once they've chosen, a sense of agency by having control over that choice, and a sense of clarity knowing kind of what they want to do and what their goals are afterwards. The third module kind of further addresses those by working on this guided pathway document, which really is kind of a process through which they'll explore career options and things after the for what they would like to do after they finish with our program, so with an eye toward, improving the skills that they need to improve for those programs and doing the investigation that they need to do for those programs while they're still with us. And then finally, the needs of competence, relevance, and stability are addressed in the fourth module, the overcoming barriers to learning. And this teaches students a decision-making process as one of the parts of it, how to use a growth mindset, and how to develop and utilize a support network to help them overcome some of their barriers. Then finally, we use throughout the orientation, theories of guided discovery are implemented to increase learner motivation through engagement and relevancy. We use activities such as worked examples, shown in the top left, interactive simulations, shown in the top right, video demonstrations, shown in the bottom left, and then problem-based learning with this guided pathways document that they're working through different aspects of. And so thank you. That is the project that I have been working very hard on, and I would love your feedback or any questions that you might have.
Okay, that was nice.
That was great, Tangee. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I have one follow-up question. So what is your plan for sort of implementation, and where are you in terms of, will you be done in time to sort of implement this?
So, yeah, this is actually a very real project for us. My goal is, to get as much done as possible before the end of the quarter when I'm submitting it for you guys. But then, hopefully, before Christmas break, I would like to do a kind of a soft open on it with just the staff members trying it out, and then implement it for the first quarter, fall quarter, which starts in January for us, and have actually both my current students who've already gone through some orientation and new students go through it and give me some feedback on it and maybe tweak a little bit. But yeah, we're hoping to have it up and running for January. That's great.
Tangee, this is Ruth. I thought it was really, really great. I really enjoyed it, and I really liked the interface itself. Quite unintimidating. It seemed like something that students could really use very comfortably, which is great, and that you thought very carefully about all the kinds of barriers that they might be presented with. Nice job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Tangee, this is Catherine. I also teach in adult ed, and I absolutely love the fact that you created an orientation opportunity on classroom expectations. And I can't tell you, I mean, you obviously know this too, how common that scenario is about the babysitter calling and, you know, I'm just going to take the call in class versus, you know, like it's a legitimate thing that these students actually do need to be kind of guided through, okay, you know, this scenario will pop up for you. What do you do in this situation? I think that's absolutely wonderful. And I also love the notion of your growth mindset as well. That's a very important approach to take, especially with adult learners. So I absolutely love this project. This is an awesome job.
Oh, thank you so much.
Any other questions from current classmates or anyone who's listening in?
It's Lara. I thought it was very good because it looked very engaging. There is a lot of dynamical opportunities in there, like interactivity, and for adult students, it's always important to be engaged and because they're self-directed, to be able to skip through the slides and choose the one they want to read more about it and want to know more about it instead of others. So great job to my eyes.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was really interesting, Tangee. It was really nice listening about your project. Looks good. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Tangee, and thank you guys for comments. I'm going to move things over to Catherine if she is ready.
Yep, I am ready.
So I think you still should have that, yep, perfect, share screen option.
Yep. Great. All right, can everyone see my dashboard right now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So welcome to my Honors Latin 3 course that I created in Canvas. I created this course to help students who are in the agricultural education program at my school and in the band program and in other really rigid programs. I wanted to create this course to allow them to continue to stay in the Latin program since students, when they get to Honors Latin 3 at Lyman Hall High School, tend to drop out. And they don't get a lot of support from the guidance department telling them to stay in the program, and there aren't a lot of options. And when they drop out of Honors Latin 3, they can't go on to take AP Latin 4. So I wanted to create some kind of a mastery-based online option for students to be able to stay in the course. So this is the homepage of my course, and based on my student feedback, I created a separate resources page. I did show this to my Honors Latin 3 students who I currently have along the way so that they could help me in developing this just to get their feedback. And this is where they could access all of the various resources such as a Latin dictionary, grammar aids, and cultural aids as well, in order to help them throughout the duration of the course. And if they go back to the home page, it's a very clean, simple interface because high school students really don't like to have a lot of clutter. And I give them a tutorial video here that shows them how to use each of these links and what each of these links will take them to. One thing I had to be very careful to define for my high school students was what a module actually is, since they're not used to that term. They're very used to the term unit. So I was very clear throughout documents in the course and in this video to tell them where they would have to go after they complete Module 1 in future when they access the course to access the other content. I also showed them how to use these links on the side as well, since my students would not be that familiar with the Canvas LMS. So just looking at the modules, I have actually, there are supposed to be 8 modules in total, but I fleshed out 3 of them. This last one, which actually won't function as a last one for everyone, is one on Latin poetry. The one that is also fully done up here, Module 2, is based on grammar. And the first module is an orientation module. Since agreeing with Tangee's research, it is very important that students have an orientation opportunity. With these modules, students actually have the ability to, they do have to earn credit for the course by passing all, well, by taking all 8 modules, but they have to demonstrate mastery at least 5 times throughout the course. So they may not pass every single module, but in a mastery-based system, as long as they demonstrate all of the standards for a minimum of 5 times, earning a score of 3 or above, they would be able to earn full credit for the course in addition to completing all of the modules. I also tried to give students some voice and choice by telling them they did have to complete the first 3 in order because that's all of the grammar knowledge that they need, but then they could complete these last 4 in any order that they choose. Again, giving them some voice and choice, because now they'll have all the grammar they need. So if they want to jump into poetry, or if they want to jump into Trajan's letters, I'm a Star Wars fan, so Empire Strikes Back. They know that. So they could do this in any order from module 4 to 8. And just to show you what a typical module entails, I have a video and instructional objectives to kind of really engage the students in a personal dialogue as to what they're going to be learning about in the course and why they're learning what they're learning. For my administrators and guidance counselors and parents, I do also have to list those objectives out, and my students are used to seeing that in the agenda on my board in my classroom. So that is a requirement I would have to have. In addition, I have instructional videos for every module that I created. This one's on a grammatical case in Latin, the ablative, but it's on 2 components of it. And in order to keep my students attentive, I kept the videos under 8 minutes so that they wouldn't feel like they had to watch like a complicated 20-minute video. So they have kind of shorter videos that align to the typical high school student's attention span. In addition, I have external resources that students could access. Once they view the instructional videos, I embedded practice activities. I used Google Forms because I wanted to differentiate ungraded versus graded assignments. My students are used to my implementation of mastery-based learning in my classroom, which in that case, it means that there will be work that they do that is not graded, but they do have to complete the work in order to be able to do well in the formative and summative assessments, which are graded. And if they want to earn the ability to have a retake on a quiz or a test, a formative or summative assessment, I'm totally fine with that. I just need to have evidence that they completed the work to get them there. So this is part of that ungraded work that they would need to complete to demonstrate mastery. And I like Google Forms because it's another opportunity for them to earn immediate feedback when they answer their questions. And because this module is rather complex, there are a couple of practice activities that break up the content. In addition to ungraded practice activities, I also have readings to help students contextualize this authentic Latin passage from Cicero, who is rather complicated. I included a picture and I also included a podcast. And I have podcasts and pictures in all of my readings. So again, that they're really able to contextualize the passage and they can have a visual in their mind of what's going on, which is also a really important best practice with language acquisition. In addition to the visuals and the podcast, I also have segmenting and signaling to help students identify vocabulary that they may not be familiar with. So again, anything to help them support their language acquisition, I tried to really embed in the readings. And there are 2 readings per module because the idea is that they're looking at how the grammatical concept that they're learning about is allowing these authors to express purpose. So the focus is not just on the grammar, it's on the analysis, which is also aligning to new pedagogy in classical language teaching. In addition to the readings, I have ungraded discussion questions such as this one. And the ungraded forums are opportunities for students to voice their questions that they might want other students to benefit from reading. And they could also answer questions, a lot like our ungraded Q&A forums in our QU courses. When they reply, they have the ability to upload text, videos, images. They can post reply in any format that they're most comfortable doing. And this is a feature that I made sure was apparent for the graded discussion questions and the summative assessments as well, so that students could really have voice and choice in how they wanted to show me content. So it applies across the board. After the graded and ungraded discussion question, they'll encounter the graded one, which requires them to apply their knowledge of the content that they've already encountered in the module. They are used to this rubric that I used for them already that will assess their analysis of the content and their communication with each other. So there is the rubric right there available for them if they want to review that criteria. And that's outlined in my syllabus as well. In addition to the graded discussion question, this would be the graded formative assessment, on which they'll receive immediate feedback on their responses. And all of that content, I imagine, and I suggest for them to take kind of a week to do, and then they can use the second week to complete their summative assessment. And I kind of integrated experiential learning to allow students to demonstrate mastery of all my course standards in the summative assessment. In Latin, it's very easy for students just to look up a translation online. So I really had to make sure that my summative assessments avoided something that was just a basic translation. So in this particular summative, I have a podcast that contextualizes what they have to do. And what they're going to do in this one is be me for a day and take two complex passages, Cicero and Caesar, who they've already read. So these passages are actually a continuation of the passages, and they actually have to annotate them to allow Latin 2 students to navigate through the passages. And their annotations have to include culture, they have to include the explanation of the grammatical ablatives that they've been encountering, translations for particular phrases, so everything that they have used in this module and learned essentially in their Latin career, since Latin is cumulative. And these are actually my 4 standards that they have to demonstrate a minimum of 3, at least 5 times throughout the course. And the summative and formative assessments and even discussion questions are an opportunity for mastery. So all of my summatives align to all 4 of my standards. So regardless of how the student submits the assignment, they're being graded not on what they're submitting necessarily, but the quality of it. You know, how well are they achieving those grammatical conventions, the translation, the vocab acquisition, and the cultural awareness. After they encounter the summative assessment for Module 2, I've embedded a course evaluation. And this one not only asks them about their experience in this module, and it is anonymous, but it also asks them about what they thought about the orientation module as well, so that I could go back and revise based on their feedback, since their feedback is essential to the success of the course. And then it just goes into my final module. I wanted to show you the syllabus super quickly, which is actually one of their readings. I like how on the syllabus page, Canvas actually has all of their upcoming assignments. I've built into those assignments ungraded office hours opportunities. We have this at Lyman Hall in real time, where students just come for 40 minutes to either show me work that they have to do, or to just talk about the course, or to just be in a space together. And I wanted to create this in my online classroom as well. So I said that I was creating office hours from 3 to 4 on Mondays, but I'm also telling students that they have the ability to contact me to create their own time virtual space through which they could meet with me. And the interface that allows us to do this in Canvas is actually this conferences tool. So I would just simply create a conference, the student would see a join button, and they would join. And it would actually kind of function like this Zoom interface is functioning right now. And then if we go back to the home page and kind of navigate through, the announcements page is just a basic announcements. Students can access it, look at, see what's upcoming in the course. I like the fact that those are showcased. Anything that's coming up, any of my feedback is showcased right here. And that's the meat of the course. I appreciate any questions and feedback.
Thanks, Catherine. That looks awesome. You really obviously put a lot of work into it, and I know from chatting with you that this is a real project that you hope to implement. I think that the focus on orientation makes a lot of sense, and I know you got that feedback from trying this out with some of your students. I know for high school students, they're probably not familiar with the online interface and with online learning, and like you said, even with the terminology that's used. So I think that's really important. My only question is, I know you said that through kind of the middle of the course, they could have choice in the different modules that they would be engaged in. So how do you foresee them kind of connecting with one another if they're taking different modules at different times? Did you have any thoughts about how they might, connect or share it?
Yes, I did. And that's an awesome question, because I was brainstorming this with my current Latin 3 students. And something that happens anytime that someone posts any discussion is they'll get a notification in their emails or on their phones if they even have the Canvas app. And we were talking about the fact that it wouldn't matter in those final 4 whether someone was in one module while someone was in another one, because you could still respond to a student's perception of what an author is doing in the poetry module and provide some, either a question or some constructive feedback on that. So you wouldn't necessarily have to be within the same content. And that was, I actually brought up that same question with my students, and they were the ones who were saying, a lot of them were saying, it would actually make it more interesting to have different people learning different things and kind of teaching each other. And it does seem like a strange scenario. And that was definitely one of my roadblocks. And I thought, maybe I should just take the voice and choice out of that last 4. But when I brought it up to my students and I said, what do you guys think about this? They were like, no, definitely leave it in there, because we like that idea of being able to do different things and be able to talk to each other. And I'm also gearing this knowing what kind of students I tend to have in Honors 3. They're very motivated. They're very driven. They're very insightful. So they're not the type of students to say, oh, well, I'm not working on what you're working on right now. So I really they would get into it. If it were a different class that I teach, I would have avoided that approach.
Great. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Catherine, I thought one of the really strong things was how much you talked to the stakeholders, how much you consulted with the students and really found out what they thought about it, because very often, especially with young people are designing for them without ever talking to them. And it's really critical. And it was great to hear the kind of feedback you got from them and the kinds of decisions you made because of that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I really couldn't have done it without their feedback, because I had certain images in mind of how I wanted certain pages to look. But when I brought it to their attention, they would say, yes, we like the idea of the resources. For example, initially I had all the resources right on the homepage, but they were like, it seems kind of crowded and we don't really know where to go. Why don't you create a separate page for that? So definitely, I really appreciate their feedback, and I was really happy that I was able to share this experience with them.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and I agree with Kristen about basically taking some time to orientate the students. Because I was also I've been working with Canvas, and I've really enjoyed working with Canvas actually. And it's really nice to be able to spend some time with the students and just to help them navigate through it, and just let them play around with it a little bit, get familiar with all the different options and all the different labels and how to get from one point to the other. So it's really good, and I'm still finding things about it. I hadn't tried that conference button yet, but I did briefly look at it, and it seems to be quite effective for basically creating a community sort of conversation,
Absolutely. And that was one of the questions that my students asked me, how can we connect with you? And what if we would never be able to make office hours at Lyman Hall? Could we have that in your course? Could we have that ability? So I love that conferences feature, because that definitely allows for that interaction to happen.
Yeah. Have you tried the chat also? I think there's a chat option.
Yes, there is. Within the conferences feature, there is a chat, it's called the big blue button that they use for that. And there is a chat option within there.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Catherine.
Hey.
I really liked your project. I thought that everything looked super clean about it and really organized. I've used Canvas and I feel like it hasn't come out this good looking. So, I really liked it, and it's so thorough and so well thought out. You clearly know the topic backwards and forwards. I wondered if there were more ways you could possibly think about incorporating graphics or more visuals, because I remember I saw one of your projects in another class, and I really loved how a lot of it was visuals paired with the Latin. You could hear it overlaid, and I felt like that was really awesome. Maybe that's part of some of your videos, but even like throughout the pages too, there's like tons of text, but there's not, so the pictures themselves are not really, it doesn't seem like seems like you don't use them as much, I guess.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because I did in my Latin poetry module, I know what you're talking about. I did actually use that video that you're talking about.
Yeah, I thought that video was great.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. The videos definitely allow me to convey a lot of, and really the majority of, the instructional materials. And you're right, I could incorporate more images. I wanted to keep it as clean as possible, because I just noticed that with my students, they like to have like specific directions as, you know, where to go and what to do next. So
Right.
I tried not to like overdo it, and I tried to make sure that the presentations that I did do had a lot of nice imagery in them. So, but I definitely appreciate that feedback, and that's definitely something I will look at more when I develop this further, because I would really like to implement this.
Thank you.
I just also want to say, Catherine, I love your sense of humor on these things. Keep calm and use a dictionary. And you had a great pun on the ablative page, which I now forget. But anyway, they're very subtle, but they're great.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I said there's an ablative for that. Yeah, I try to make it fun for my students. So
very nice.
Thank you.
Catherine, I just want to tell you, I work on Canvas every day, you know, and you did a great job. I love the fact that you introduced Google Form because it adds an extra interactivity, and it's pleasant to see it. And also the podcasts are very, very nice touch. Great job.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Catherine. It looks awesome. I can't wait to get in there and poke around. And thank you guys all for your comments too. It's great to hear the questions. If Lara, you're ready, we will move on to you, and I'll turn off my video again.
There is still somebody sharing.
I'm trying to not share.
No.
I think it's at the very bottom.
Is it?
I think
it's visible.
I think if you re-click, yep, there you go.
There we go.
Okay, so I'm gonna just press share screen, and I can do this. Oh, nice. Does everybody see?
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, I'm actually glad that Catherine went before me, because that introduces my project here. Catherine finds herself in a position of being a teacher and being a good instructional designer, we can say that. And she was able to build her online class because she has both capabilities. But not all teachers or faculty have instructional designer knowledge, and that's exactly where my project is going. I'm going to give you a little feedback on the rationale of this project before I introduce you exactly to the learning experience. Online education has changed faculty roles and responsibilities. The increased use of technology, the type of interactions with students, and the change in interpersonal relations are factors that require faculty to adapt to the online environment, like Catherine did. Online teaching differs from traditional classroom teaching because it has to be student-centered and engaging. So we need to motivate online students by giving them control over the learning process and to stimulate collaborations between students. So the learning experience here is about a faculty member who is asked to transform its class from face-to-face into an online class. So he needs the expertise of an instructional designer. Faculties sometimes don't have an instructional designer expertise. This learning experience will answer questions like, what is the role of instructional designer in higher education? Why are they important? and how can faculty benefit of instructional designer service. And that's where the title from the experience comes out, faculty and instructional designers collaborating to create the best learning experience. The design of my educational website was influenced by theories of constructivism, and more specifically by Piaget's theory. And Piaget's theory says that knowledge is a process that takes place throughout the development process. So he highlights the interaction with the environment as a necessary key to construct new knowledge and build on previous knowledge. And this constructive theory in a website actually comes out very, very easy, because there is interactions everywhere, and the faculty or the student, in this case, which is my faculty, can absolutely build on his previous knowledge and know more. So I also had to keep in mind that my students are self-directed human beings because they are adult students. So I wanted to use the Malcolm Knowles principles, which is a theory of adult learning, which is called also andragogy. And the last part of the introduction is that I'm sure we all know this. I will use the Richard Meyer's principle of multimedia design, especially the coherence principle, where people learn better with extraneous words, pictures and sounds when they are excluded rather than included. So I try to keep something very, very simple. I segmented it, and I use the multimedia principles. So there are videos, there are words, there are pictures. And let's get to the learning experience. As you can see, this is a website. And whoever gets in is probably led to read the title and the 3 subtitles. So what's the problem here? Let's click on what's the problem. This is the beginning of the first experience. I wrote all of this, like everything comes from me, except that this beautiful infographic that states the importance of online education in today's universities. Like 5.8 million students are enrolled in online courses. And actually 90% of them says that it's the same or better than a traditional classroom experience. What I say in this is all related to this concept. So we university now offer more asynchronous classes, and in the page there are always highlighted quotes that I wrote that should lead the viewer to immediately have an idea about what is this class, what is this part of the experience going to talk about. So this is the challenge for education is to incorporate the tools and media of the information age into the curriculum. So that's one of the points of us instructional design, that we have to use new strategies for create a class that reflects their learning objectives. This first page concludes with a video. I'm not going to play it all. I'm just going to show it a little bit, go through, and it's me narrating it. And each part of this website, wherever I have a quote or I talk something that refers to another article, you can click directly on the link, and it goes directly into the article that I took the quote from as extra researches. So let's go to the next page very quick. The the learner that finds, so do you want to know more, finds three subtitles which explain what this part is going to be about: student-centered engagement, andragogy, and principle of multimedia design. I need for faculty to understand what they need to do, what they need to know, or why do we need to use those principles in order to create good online learning. And in this case, my quote here is adult learner self-directed, problem-oriented, and life experience, and I carried them into the learning environment. A graduate class for adult learner must be developed with these factors in mind, using a conversational style and real-life example. So we start here to talk about andragogy, what is online learning, and I created a video that explains all the let me just turn off, all the principle of andragogy, which is adult learning. So the three levels of interactions that are explained, and then I hope you're not seeing my Facebook notifications. And then there is an interesting part. There is a documentary that where Meyer explains his principles of multimedia design, and then there is an example of interactive lesson. I would like for them to know what is an interactive lesson. So I used Adobe Captivate. It still talks about instructional design. Okay. And I'm just gonna skip through 2 pages. And with this way, the faculty will understand and see hands-on what it means in interactive lesson. And then of course there are any kind of slides, there are quiz slides, and I also pressed the incorrect answer. There are video slides, there is a software simulation where you can actually write stuff in. So, and this is an interactive lesson example. So how does the learner navigate this website? They can use the back button, the next button, or they can use the top menu, which has the same tabs of the website. So there is an extra button for all citations, and everything that I click, it goes directly into the article citation. Let's go very quick into the last part of this experience. I have lost track of time, I guarantee you. So there is another part. It says who does what, and here it's where we actually totally say what is an instructional design. This is an infographic developed by Arizona State University, and it says what they're doing, instructional designers are doing for them, what they should do, and then there is also a couple of links that brings to other Ivy universities. I think that's the real way to say Ivy, I'm not sure. This is Penn State, and it shows the process of their instructional design department. Mm-hmm. And then there is an article of somebody in LinkedIn that says how working with an instructional designer changed the way I make presentations. So it's real life experience. That, as I said before, is important for adult education. The last, the conclusions are a wrap up of the whole concepts. And what's interesting in this page is that it leads, I hope it smoothly leads the learners into a discussion and the evaluation of this website. So there is one discussion here. I can also add more but I would need to see how one discussion goes. And everybody can leave their comments. I'm just gonna leave now one and comment, and here it is. And then there is also an evaluation survey. As Ruth Schwartz suggested, the evaluation survey is a process that not everybody is willing to take because it's an additional work. So I try to keep it very, very simple and made it easy to read. It's just, after visiting this website, what are your thoughts about the role of instructional design? Yeah. So they just have to say, now I understand what instructional designer can do, or I just have a better idea, or I still don't get it. And if they want to recommend to other people, and they can say why or why not. Once they submit it, I will receive it. As last part of showing this website, I'm going back in the home here. So we went through by the back and next button, but you could also go through by clicking inside the three chapters. And then there is two other forms. One is about the author, which is me, and explains who I am, what's my job. If anybody wants to contact, they know who I am and why I'm doing this. And then the content form, and please feel free to use it. It's just have to put the last name and the comments. So yes, this is my project. Thanks for listening, and I appreciate any feedback.
Yay, thank you very much. I think that this, it looks great, and I think that this topic is really important. I come from, you guys I think all know, I come from a higher ed background. I've worked with tons and tons of faculty putting courses online, helping their face-to-face teaching with web components, and this is really needed. I think a lot of faculty are hesitant to work with instructional designers. They don't understand the concept, and so you definitely have tapped into a big need. I made a note that I want to steal that ASU instructional designer graphic because that was really cool. It looked like it had good information in there. I'll pop that into the 525 course. One question I had was, in the example of the interactive lesson, I think it's really good to include examples like that, as you said, so they can see what you're really talking about. I wonder if you thought that having some narration around that might help them. Do you think that they will know enough at that point to click through and really understand what they're looking at?
It's a good question. I had that in mind, like I create a video tutorial on how to use a Captivate project. However, I'm talking to adult students and I'm debating on the fact that they are self-directed. They will click around. And it would be a very good surprise. However, I should probably start, instead of do a video, I could start with one first slide that shows like a learning pyramid, shows click here and it will open more. Better than a video, better than something additional. Yeah, I did think of that. Thank you for pointing that out.
Sure.
Lara, one thing that I love is the fact that you can click on the article, like on the source that you reference, and it will take you right to the article. I absolutely love that. And, other than like procon.org, which is a website that I use a lot with my students that takes them right to the study, I really don't see that a lot. And I absolutely love that feature that I think it would speak to higher ed, that they can go right to the source, right to the scholarly, peer-reviewed source where you're getting that information right there on your website. So that's awesome.
Thank you.
Right. Actually, I was going to say something similar, that I feel like it's a good example of catering to your target audience, because there is a lot of text on this site, but you're dealing with, by definition, you're dealing with people who teach at a university who haven't been teaching online. So that means they believe in text. They've been assigning a lot of text. So they're interested in the power of text. So actually you speak right to them by giving them what they believe in.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was really good. I enjoyed that. Nice website.
We need to figure out how you clap in this medium. Like we don't have.
That's right.
Yeah, we do. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lara, very much. So it was great to see everything that you pulled together.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Vicki, you are up. So, and it looks like Lara gave over control, so I will turn myself off and you can take over.
Okay. I just hit the share screen. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, I see. Oh, I can choose what I want to share. Okay. Why isn't this working? Sorry, hold on one second. Okay. All right, so I should be able to do this. Okay. Hi, everybody. All right, so my resource is a sleep education website. It's geared towards high school underclassmen, and I see this kind of fitting in nicely into a health-related subject or class. It could be a supplemental material for a teacher to incorporate into a lesson. So some of those topics I'm going to cover when I sort of go through the site, but those are essentially are the things that the website will be covering. Okay. The reason why I decided to design for this subject and for the audience is because statistically there's just a demonstrated problem. Teens aren't getting enough sleep. The National Sleep Foundation found that results, which is much less than what teens should be getting per night. And then there's the other added problem that this carries on usually into adulthood. The CDC actually called it a public health epidemic, that adults don't get enough sleep and it affects the way that they operate during the day. So the hope is that if you can kind of get ahead of this problem with early formal education in schools, that sleep itself and the topic of sleep and why we need it would become more important. So I decided to deliver this through a website, and I chose WordPress as my platform. I think possibly in the future I may not do that. WordPress is limited in some ways, but I did want to keep it easy to navigate and really, really simple. So for that, it totally worked out. Within the website, there are Captivate interactive experiences, and I really wanted this to be the focus of the entire website. I think this audience, unlike Laura's audience, probably doesn't want to read too much. So I really wanted to amp up more of the graphics, a little bit more interaction for them. Okay, and so now we can just go to my website. Am I still sharing the same screen or not?
I'm seeing your PowerPoint slide with the.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so am I.
Stop share. If I stop share and then I redo the share, maybe that's what I could do. There we go. Okay, you can see it, right?
Yep.
Okay. So this is the main site. It's literally just these 6 blocks. Going sort of with the idea that I really want to be able to segment the material and make sure that sleep itself, the topic, is not just kind of handled as one big thing because there's a lot of parts involved in it. So that's why I decided to kind of break things up like this. So this getting started portion, this is really where people should get started, which is why I called it that. the whole kind of idea of this website, again, is a little bit less text and more about the visuals. So the text for this, I kind of wanted to go with a casual but sort of like irreverent tone. I think that might speak to the audience. So this is essentially just very, very like kind of like an anchor piece. I wouldn't necessarily consider it pre-training because I think the video is, it's not super informational. But I did create the entire video myself, just graphics. It goes through the basics of why you need it. It acknowledges, you know, how your life can get in the way, but it's still important to get sleep. So that is narrated, and I kept words completely out of it as much as I could because there's the multimedia principles is that the narration and the words are sometimes just too much for us to handle at once. So I chose narration over the words in this case. So this is just like the anchoring piece. They could view this, it's 1 minute long. I wanted it to be super short, just really accessible. So then this part of the project is where the emphasis is more on the interactive Captivate experiences. Again, the copy kind of introduces what this page is going to be about, and then you would launch the Captivate project. And then this again, I'm going to have to stop sharing my screen for a second because I have to switch to Captivate. Unlike Lara, I could not figure out how to put Captivate into the website. I don't think WordPress allows you to do it, but I guess Weebly does. So I would definitely look into Weebly in the future. Okay, I can share this. But for now, we'll just do this. So in the perfect world, these would actually be embedded into the website, and they could immediately just view them. But so essentially, the idea of this is that it's completely learner controlled. The buttons are all uniform, and they all look the same, kind of keeping with one theme. The start of the entire module will always kind of be this, again, sort of like an introductory little piece to get you started. And then you would launch more of the interactive features. Again, this is sort of like a fun fact kind of thing, trying to generate interest in the topic before you get into a little bit more of the informational stuff. So the idea behind all of this is that there's basics to sleep, and then you get more in depth. So this is kind of the beginning kind of research. And I have this where if you scroll over, you get new text. This helps to kind of manage all the information. You don't just have a splash of information on one side all at once. This is really just to make it seem as simple as possible while you're still getting the key information in there. More of that involved here, talking about how we track sleep, how we know what the hell we're doing when we're sleeping, and other pieces like this. Again, this would all be interactive. I didn't fill in all of this, but the same idea here. You click on something, it gives you more information, but in a very like manageable little segment.
Vicki, I don't know if we're seeing what you're clicking because I see your mouse clicking, but I'm still seeing inside Captivate and it's not moving.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, I thought I was sharing. Do you guys see my Google Chrome website?
Nope, we're looking at sort of the workspace, I think, for Captivate.
Oh, I thought I stopped sharing that screen. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to go through that whole thing.
I don't know if it was you because I could see your mouse clicking, so it might have been sort of a glitch. Because I saw your mouse clicking, but it was showing us the old screen. So try it again.
Okay. Yeah, Chrome, share screen. Do you see Stages of Sleep?
Yes, now I see it. Yep.
Oh,
sorry.
No, it's okay. Oh, damn it. I wish that worked out. Should I go back? I'm not sure what I should do.
You can take us from here.
Okay, all right.
I think you were explaining what was happening, so I think there was enough context, but you can just take it from here.
Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. so yeah, essentially there's all different areas within it to click on so that you can get more information and get sort of like a bite size, but still, you know, adequate to kind of understand the topic. And then I added the quiz in here. This quiz I would definitely develop more, add more questions to it. But again, the idea is sort of that they get feedback from this interaction. It's not just playing around inside here. They actually get to kind of see how much they've retained over the course of the thing. And once you submit, you would get feedback as to whether or not you got that right. And I tried to add in a little bit more information to again, sort of reestablish the new information. So that's essentially the idea of the quiz. If I was to actually implement this, I would look into, there's a Captivate feature, I would look into how to actually be able for people to be able to report this information. I think you need to report it to a server or an LMS or something like that. But that way it would tie back to a lesson or a class. The teacher would get the information and they would know that the students filled it out and did it. That's the main piece. I have another Captivate project in here as well. Similar features. I tried to keep the design like fairly uniform. Other than that, the site itself is very bare. I just have the About page. I think, again, this audience kind of knows what this is going to be about. I don't think they need too much orientation on it. So I just chose to keep things really, really simple and just sort of bright and interactive. And those are kind of the main points.
Nice.
Thank you, Vicki. I think it looks really great. So overall, I know throughout the program you've had a lot of sort of questions about where to go from here as an instructional designer, or what sort of direction to move in. And I definitely think you demonstrate having, great instructional design skills. You had a lot of good instincts of how to design for your target audience, and keeping things simple and lots of visuals for the younger population. But I just want to say, I really hope that you go in a direction that you can use your graphic design skills. I think that is really the strength of this project, and just consistently throughout the program, you have really strong visual design skills. They feel very modern. You put like a modern twist on things, and it seems really engaging, especially for this type of audience, for the age that you're working with. So I think it looked really good.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I agree with that. The spirit of it was very, I thought it would be very appealing to the target audience, because it did have that sort of, as you said, cute and irreverent. Yeah. Cute in a mature way.
Thank you. Yeah.
I also liked how you kept it, your website consistent with the Canvas, your graphics. That was really nice, and it's works really well. And like you, I also use WordPress, and it's not that easy to use WordPress.
I would actually love to find out from you how you got Captivate into Weebly, because I totally would have done Weebly instead of WordPress if I knew that.
Yeah, I did. I started off on WordPress, and then I spent hours trying to figure out how you embed Captivate into it, and then I think Christian got Chris to do a little work through it, but I think he pointed out that you can't, so it doesn't support it.
Yeah.
Not yet, anyway. But there are other websites, web programs that you can use. Yeah, I think Weebly is one of them.
Yeah.
Actually, Lara did share in the chat, so you might have to click around your screen to get the chat open. I don't know if it.
Yeah, no, I see it. Yep.
Yeah, she shared a link for it looks like a plugin that you can download to put Captivate in. So if people are interested, bookmark that, and you can.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, I thought she did like a screen shot of that, or a video that she embedded into Captivate. Okay. Or into her website, sorry.
No, mine.
Oh, no, you used a different website, no? You didn't?
Yeah, she used Weebly.
Yeah,
I like Weebly a lot. I wish I knew about Weebly before I used the WordPress thing.
Yeah.
So Weebly allows SWF files to be embedded. I don't know about WordPress, but that's the one I used.
Yeah.
To be
That's right.
Victoria, I just wanted to also second everyone's comment that this is definitely something that high school students would love. Your graphics are awesome and they're really engaging, and I can't imagine a group to whom your topic wouldn't speak to, and I'm definitely seeing this as a pertinent issue for high school students that leads to all other kinds of problems. So I would love to see your program implemented like right from the get-go for students. It's absolutely awesome. I think you did a nice job.
Very nice.
Thank you so much.
I agree. This is Vinyetta. I think that your presentation was wonderful. I did like your interactivity with the captive portion of it, where the quizzes were more interactive. I like the hues and the undertones as well, because it kind of like contrasts, like, okay, it's more about sleep, so some of the darker tones were dark, but it actually brought in more attention visibly to like some of the brighter elements of it, which is like, okay, you have to read, and it draws more attention to your text and your font. So I think you're very graphically inclined, and you did a great job. It was really nice.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, nice.
Thank you, Vicki. I think that's all the comments. Thank you guys for all your comments. And the last presentation is Vinyetta. So I hear you. I know we can hear you. So if you need to take over the screen, you can click the screen share.
Oh. Okay, let me know if you can see my screen.
Yep, perfect.
Great. Okay, so I'll take you on a brief tour. I try not to make it too overly complex, but this will be the start of the presentation. So the instructional resource design tool I decided to design was primarily based to support active, engaged mothers. And when I mean active, engaged, just like a lot of mothers that are out there that are, that are busy with managing their hectic schedules between work, between home, and trying to find self-care and family time, and actually balancing the adequate nutrition for themselves as well as their family. So just getting them more accustomed to a more nutritional and active lifestyle that would best fit their family as well as their own personal needs. So that will be the purpose of this instructional workshop that I created. The general premise is that this workshop will consist of a 5-day work path, but it'll consist throughout a 5-day time span, throughout a one week time span. So we'll have open flexibilities for mother to kind of cater around their current timing and their schedule. It would allow them the flexibility to view the content at their own leisure. So in a case where they may be overindulged with a lot of different things from day to day, this will give them a insight into, okay, they can view this video or view the instructional content by each day, but it will be more of a self-paced, modularized fashion. So they won't feel overly overwhelmed with absorbing some of the general contextual information that's there. So participants will further learn more about the instructional content through this week-long workshop, including the nutritional healthy food choices, as well as trying to adapt better daily routines to improve their life habits. So that will be the general purpose of this instructional design. As part of this, I designed like one step prior to that, I designed the actual website, which will be catered towards the parents. And I think part of my concern with this project would have been to try to find a resource that I think that it would be more in touch to some of the users that may use it, and also trying to identify with the instruction that will be more beneficial to a target demographic. And I guess the best representation for the demographic that I think would have been best would have been active mothers, and primarily because like they're the center of their life, of their families, and they're the part of the family that sustains the nutritional values, and they're the part that keeps the family strong. So that was a really concern of mine. And another concern of mine is I think that in this industry or in this world, there's not that much nutritional intake. So for families as well as parenting, and there's not that much time in the day for everyone. So just trying to find, I know a lot of people may struggle with trying to find the right time to cook the best and the most nutritional meals, but they struggle with trying to take out the necessary time to get that information. It's between the constant daily workloads at work, or just like day-to-day routine balancing with going to pick up the children and things of that sort. It's just a struggle to try to maintain your own mental sanity, nevertheless try to prepare something nutritional. So that's kind of where this instructional design came from. It kind of was inspired by my own train of thought as well. I know I'm a busy, active, engaged mother, and I spend most of my day at work, typical 8 to 5, but often enough, my work responsibilities require me to work outside of the normal hours. So a lot of times it interrupts with my home time planning, as well as the day-to-day routine of trying to continue on and complete this instructional design program. So for myself, it kind of was a struggle constantly. I wouldn't be the one to go out and purchase fast foods, but I would be the one who go out and pre-purchase things in advance, or I would use things such as like the local delivery locations like Peapod, where I can shop online and send my groceries to my home. So the purpose of this would be mainly to try to maximize some of the tools that the parents currently have that's out there to help them make better nutritional choices. So the general target demographic of participants are mothers, anywhere, any demographic and age of mothers. The primary goal is to help them and provide them with more nutritional value behind the food choices that they do eat. Another point for this will be to help them. A lot of these parents may already be familiar with nutritional components and what it takes to be healthy, but this is just to provide them with a higher level oversight on how to further understand the nutritional food choices, and also to provide them with an instructional resource tool, which is using the nutritional element in order to adequately balance and track that information using MyFitnessPal. So MyFitnessPal, if everyone may not know, is the application that a lot of people use for dieting and just store their general nutritional content, and also a way to monitor and track their dietary needs, including exercise, and actually try to communicate with other community members, just like a platform for people to engage and actually promote positive and nutritional food choices. So this will be the basis of my entire project. I'll escape from this portion of the screen. I'll take you directly into the website. So this will be the website I designed, which the website I designed is primarily for the parents, just a general area for them to go to try to gain access to nutritional information. So this will be the general main page for the Refuel and Recharge website. And that's not to be confused with the actual course. The course, it will be more of the instructional content of my design layout. So the Refuel and Recharge website is mainly dedicated to provide any parent or anyone for that matter with resources where they can go at the click of a mouse, or if they were at work or in between downtime at home, they can actually just go and find information about nutritional choices, ways to integrate that with their family life as well as their children, and try to basically find general information. So this would be this main header here. It's a highlight to the actual workshop. And when I built this design, I kind of built it back in November. Well, I want to say early November. So I kind of my timelines here from November 7th to November 11th was based on that timeline with my project plan that I designed. So that's why the dates are here consistent. But the course is actually an open slotted time course where they have the flexibility to complete it within a 1 week time span. So, this part right here is something that could be changed for the actual workshop. So this is just a general ticker, just pointing the mother to go on to the registration link here to register for the course. So one may ask, okay, how do participants know to register for my course? I guess that was part of the thought behind the website as well. Like, how will people know about this workshop? How do they even know it exists? So part of the way that it will exist is through word of mouth, or actually if, in my ideal, it would be to publish this, publish the website and publish the workshop. And like, as far as like other customers, participants coming to actually engage into this workshop by posting the literature out in the field. So maybe I may go to like a local clinic, or maybe at work I may post that at like the local lunch areas, or maybe even connect with something like a local restaurant that has an active poster board inside their restaurant. I will post this there, so then that way it would gain the traffic for the participant to come to this website and actually go in and register for the course. So that was the primary basis for the ticker here. If I scroll down here, if you go to the About section on this website, it provides you with the general oversight of the website. This Refuel and Recharge website, it gives you a general purpose and direction of what's the general idea of the website, gives you general information. It also gives you a quick link here, which will point you into the direction if you wanted to enroll into the general course. You can click on the registration page here. It provides you with a high-level site map of the entire website as to quick links. I know it's kind of small, but I believe if they can click on it, it can allow them to maximize. But also here at the bottom, it gives you, in case you cannot see that, provide them with page by page on which each of the sections will cover. So I know there's a lot of information here. I didn't want to focus too much on that. But if you were to go to the registration link here and scroll down, it will provide you with the way to contact me, the instructor of the workshop, in order to register for the course. So the general idea is that in order for people to register, if they was to, go to this website, they would enter their personal contact information in here, and they would actually check the enable box if they want to subscribe to additional newsletters, and they would click how did they receive that information back, if they wanted to, how did they hear about the workshop? So they'll input that there. So if they click submit, it will send this information over to my to my email address, and then I would actually use that information in order to register into the course. So this is a bird's eye view into the actual course. I decided to use Canvas. I was not familiar with the Weebly website design, and I think I choose Canvas primarily because it kind of mimics the Blackboard design. It's very similar in nature, and I figured that most of my target demographic may have taken an online course, especially in this day and age. A lot of mothers tend to take 1 or 2 courses, and if they're short by time, they don't have the ability to go into the school system, into the colleges as much, with their hectic life. So many mothers are apt to enroll into online course and try to complete their work, their school loads that way. So they need to be more accustomed to the same type of layout as Blackboard. So that's kind of the reason why I picked this type of layout. I try to make it very less complex. I tried to allow the participants the ability to quickly click on a link, view it at a later time, and also provide them with a PowerPoint a PowerPoint presentation so they can download it and view it at a later time if they didn't have internet connectivity at that time. So that was kind of the general idea of my current layout. So this would be the general homepage of the actual workshop. This will be the main page. If the participant clicked on the announcement section, if they click on my name, it will provide them with a general a biography of who I am as an instructional designer. It would actually provide them with the link to the Refuel and Recharge website, which is all interactive and live. And it would basically give them announcements as to the direction of the actual site. So that would be the first announcement that I designed there. So the second one I designed, if I click here, this kind of points them in the direction of the different under the pages. It points them with additional resources that they can view, as far as like helpful links that they can use that will help them in addition to the content that I'm providing. Another important link for the announcements would be if they click on, I think I actually just reorganized this by accident, but if they click on the more information link here, provides it the general information here. I cannot find, if they go under the pages section, and I tried to make it in a way, and this is something I'm still in the process of working out, to try to actually design it in a way where everything will kind of appear on the home main page, opposed to showing as the mini blocks like this. I kind of wanted an open view of the actual content directly on the main page, but I wasn't able to figure that out with the timing. So if they click on the first one, which is actually hello there, it provides them with a special welcome to the main page. It also provides them with quick links, gives them general information about the workshop. If they click on the workshop syllabus, it gives them a general idea of how the whole entire course will work. And if they click on this quick link here, it will bring them to the modules list, which is also a quick link here to every the day-by-day modules that they will complete the instruction. So I'll give you a peek into the workshop syllabus. If I click there, it'll bring them to another page of the workshop syllabus page where they have the option to actually click download the document or the PDF version of this instruction that's here. So this provides them with the general overview of how the workshop will work, some of the learning expectations for the course, as well as the two different components, which is the nutritional component as well as the MyFitnessPal component of the workshop. It kind of gives them a timeline and a rundown of the day-by-day activities or the different contents that will be located within each module. So if they was to scroll up and they were to go to all pages, it would actually show them all the resource links here. So for them to begin, if they click the modules link here, this will be the start. Well, the start, but not actually the start of day one, but if they click the video course map for day 1 through day 5, it would actually allow them to, this is going to play out audio instructions for the entire layout and the map of the whole week. If they click for each day, and this would actually provide them with instructions on what to do with these links here. So if they click on link 1, it would actually shift them to the main module day 1 element. So I'll just go to the module link here. So under day 1 course activities, if they click the welcome video would just provide them with the learning objections for day 1. It will kind of give them that open insight to the videos the welcome video as to the instructional direction for the entire week. It would actually give them the instruction to, once they complete this particular module, to click this icon here, which is here to indicate to the system that they completed that module. And I know that this course is not really necessarily based on grades, but it's more so just to let them know that they completed that particular activity. So if they click done at the start of that, after they complete the instructional content there, it will allow them to see that they completed that course and they don't have to revisit it if they don't want to. So 2 ways to get to the next section of this module. They can click next, and that'll take them to the next section. Or if they wanted to, they can click back to the module section of the website. So from this view, if I click on this activity here, this will be more of a nutritional activity. And this is just the general activity for them to actually assess how comfortable they are with identifying healthy versus non-healthy food choices. So if they click the activity here, it will bring them to a general quiz that I created. And it consists of like 6 basic questions, basically asking them to pick the healthy food choice. If they pick the question, if they say, it's actually not showing right now, but earlier, I may not have that part displayed, but the question would appear here at the top. Is this a healthy food choice? Press true if it is, press false if it's not, and allow them to submit it. It is actually a time quiz. It kind of gives them that sense of, okay, let me hurry up and try to puzzle through. I didn't include anything more than 6 questions because I think that it's pretty like just basic in nature. I didn't want to just probe more too much into their timing. So if I go back if I scroll at the bottom to submit the quiz, it would actually save that information and submit it. So if I scroll up, I'm going to go back to the second portion of the module, and it'll bring you to the next component of that day's module, which is another video. And this video is a little bit different than the welcome video of that day 1. This will actually provide you with the course content. So I actually gave the participant the ability to download the PowerPoint presentation or actually click the link here, and this would actually go to the video instruction. And I sublinked it through YouTube, but it's a full 21-minute video on the actual instructional content. It's pretty cool when you get a chance to actually register and see you actually, hopefully you'll gain some insight there. So under the module section here, I also included, for that days of activity, I included an optional discussion section, which is here. This part right here will be more optional for the participant. They can actually engage with this particular discussion question, or just general ways to connect with other members and just kind of, communicate back and forth. So if I go to the next core portion of it will be, and I know I'm not trying to make it too long and drawn out, but the general idea is that each day module will consist of a video instruction as well as activity. In addition to that, an optional discussion board so they can communicate back and forth with one another. Day 3 module will mainly consist of the actual instructional content, which is the actual video instruction for MyFitnessPal. So within this module, it would allow them to actually understand the MyFitnessPal application. It's actually a video instruction here, which would allow them to understand the overview of that, how MyFitnessPal works. It actually provides them with additional readings as well as videos to help support them in their journey with learning MyFitnessPal and inputting all the dietary information. If they click next at the bottom, or modules here, it provides them with another instructional video, which is approximately like 10-15 minutes, which will tell them more information about what is there to know about MyFitnessPal. It actually will provide them with step-by-step instruction on what it takes to understand MyFitnessPal, the different various components of the MyFitnessPal. It's very detailed, but it's a 20-minute video. I try not to make it too crazy. And it also gives them that ability to download the presentation as well if they didn't have access to the web. Within the same module, it's an assessment that I linked here, which is, is this the assessment one? No, this is another video about actually how to set up your MyFitnessPal from scratch. So it's a step-by-step guide on how to set it up from scratch. If you're a new user, you click here and it gives them that direction. It also gives them the PDF version, which I can open up really quickly for you. Over here. And I created like a step-by-step manual on how to actually set up your very own MyFitnessPal account from scratch. And I kind of use my own general information here, and I'll peek out of there. And then if I click next here, this gives them another optional discussion platform for Wednesday's discussion. So if I go to the module section, so that will be the general layout for days 1, 2, 3, and 4. Day 5 module will kind of be more of a wrap-up session for the final week. If they would actually receive a video here, which would basically wrap up the entire course section on how everything flowed. And I apologize for this not being so big, but I can give you access to the actual the registration for this course so you can have more hands-on practice with it, and it also gives you a PowerPoint presentation to download too. So if I submit next, this will be an assessment section for the instructor. So if they wanted to take the quiz and actually design this just to provide them with the way to provide feedback for me as the instructor as well as for the general course. So this will provide them with basic information on to provide feedback for everything that was covered in the course. The discussion section is just a quick link to all of the modules that all of the discussion sections within all the other modules. So it's a quick area for them just to click and pick if they didn't want to puzzle through the module section here. The graded section, again, that's not actually physically graded. This wouldn't be based on something that would be graded. And actually, I explained this to them inside the syllabus section, that even though that there's a stamp here for the completed or the actual grade, they wouldn't be graded on the content. It's just a way of actually keeping track that they completed an assignment and there was nothing outstanding due. The people section of this design just gives you a general idea of who's actually enrolled in the course. I kind of kept this open for them to view, primarily so they can see who else is involved who else is enrolled into the class. I don't think that it would be something where it needed to be secret as to who are the other participants and are in this course. I think more so I kept it open just so I wouldn't include this portion here. I got to figure out a way to actually block this out from their view. It just only show them the actual the physical name opposed to the person's email address. But I guess this will be based on primarily the way I enrolled the participant in the course, so that's probably why it's displaying that way. And also because they're probably pending as well here. So another portion will be the quizzes. I haven't figured out a way to disable this from showing. That will be something I will probably have to still take a look into. And as far as communication back and forth with the instructor, the general ideal is that if they have something, or they will kind of use themselves as a means of support. But if they needed to reach me outside of that, I didn't have a feature enabled where they can actually click anywhere on this website in order to contact me. They would just email me directly, and that would be by selecting the homepage, and they have the features here. So that would be the general ideal of this workshop. I mean, I didn't want to overcomplicate things. I try always not to overcomplicate things, but it's so hard for me. I mean, sometimes I just look too far into things and just try to implement everything all at once. So I try to allow more time for me to just try to concentrate on the integral details rather than going really crazy with just trying to stuff so many things in one area. But I mean, it's to me, I think it's much more area to grow. I think this is a general idea that it can be expanded upon and actually be designed or more customized to make it more form-fitting. But for a first time around, me creating my own instructional for myself, I think this was great. And I know I take open welcome to critiques, and hopefully you guys enjoy it, but I think you'll get more out of it if you actually went in and actually seen the content. Then you'll have a better idea. It's kind of hard to explain something sometimes in a high level when not trying to stuff in so much information all in. Because I can take up like 5 hours talking to you guys right now, and I don't want to do that. But that would be my presentation in a nutshell, and hopefully enjoy it.
Thank you, Vinyetta. It looks like you really put a lot of thought and a lot of work into this project. There's a lot of content here. So when I'm trying to look at my notes, I think that it looks really good. I wonder how the social component will work. I know that you said there were some discussion forums. I wanted to mention that I'm taking kind of a little informal moms, I guess you call it like workshop right now, and they're using Facebook as a component of the discussion and interaction, and I'm finding it to be really useful because so many people are on Facebook through a lot of the day. So people have been chatting there. How do you envision the social aspect happening for these moms? Because I know that they're all very busy and that's been a big focus of your design.
Right. My general ideal is that, I mean, considering that it is a 1-week workshop, I mean, you may have parents who just want to not engage with other parents, and you may have other parents who want to build a community outside of this course. So I think my idea would be to kind of use the workshop as a means of if the parents do want to engage with one another, they can actually use the final discussion, or they can use the discussion board to communicate back and forth. If they build that type of relationship where they want to progress on outside of the course, they can exchange that information there. And also to kind of, I guess in one respect too, kind of the way I designed the course, I wanted them to kind of still outside of the course have a place to go to outside of there, which will point it back to their Refuel and Recharge website, and kind of allow them to connect there. Because I know there it would be more so they will have more opportunity to communicate with one another there. But I think it's more so I wanted to keep everything open in case they didn't want, due to time limitations, maybe that they're just only there for a certain purpose. Like every parent will have a certain purpose, and then you do have some parents who want to openly communicate. But I guess that option will become open based on the participants and what they will want to do, But I do foresee wanting to implement something that like Lara, I think it was Lara did, where she had no, actually it wasn't Lara, it was Catherine, I think, that had that element where they can actually connect through conference and things like that. I think that will be a good way to get people engaged, or a chat forum. I think that would be pretty cool. So I think down the line, I know due to the time of the essence with everything else I built in, I didn't have time to look further into it. But I think that would be something that would be great. That would kind of be a great way to improve the communication.
Yeah, I agree. I think you've done a lot of work, like I said, within the time frame. So it was just kind of a thought that I had. I do think like for the next level, like you said, people may be looking for a place to share kind of what they're learning. So, but overall, great job. I see Ruth.
One thing I thought was a great job too, and it's certainly a very big concern for a lot of people, and I like that it was short in time duration, so that you just come in, do your thing for a week, and then you will have accomplished this. One thing I thought was that you really worked hard to give people lots of different options, and at times I felt like maybe there were too many options. Like they could download the PDF, or they could look at it online, and in a way, it's sort of simpler could be better. Like fewer options, give them less to be able to do, just so they could do what they could do without having to think about what those many options were. Just a thought.
I think so too. I think that's when I thought about it, I was like, maybe they want the flexibility. What if their computer is down? What if they don't have Wi-Fi? I think that's where I kind of got stuck on the fence, where it's like you want to give them open flexibility, but you're kind of stagnated. But sometimes giving them too many options too. Like I know even giving me too many options can just drive me crazy. So
exactly.
yes, I can work out limited.
But it's a great idea, and it looks very good.
Thanks.
Okay, Vinyetta, that was really nice. Really enjoyed that. I'm afraid I'm going to have to leave everybody. I'm quite exhausted. I have an early start tomorrow, but it was really nice that I could hear everybody's talk on their capstones. It's nice to see that everybody's coming to an end. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
An end at the beginning, hopefully.
An end. That's right. End of the course and a new beginning. Yeah. Good luck.
Take care.
Thank you.
Okay. Good night.
Good night, Pam.
Okay. Good night.
Vinyetta, I really loved your project. Just looking at this, since I've seen it from the beginning in this course, it's massive. The idea that you have a website that allows people to connect and learn a variety of things, and then if they want to, they can do the course. It's very evident that you put a ton of work into this, and the amount of modules that you fleshed out is amazing too. So I just wanted to compliment you on that, and to really tell you that I appreciate everything that you've done with this. It's a definite, pertinent, and relevant, necessary topic, and this is a wonderful resource you've developed.
Thanks. Appreciate it. I think probably I took too much time into it, because I'm like, wait a minute, this is something I can connect to. Once I started, I just couldn't stop typing. I'm like, oh my God, this is obsessive. Let me stop. So it was like a filler for me too. So I think that's what kind of happened. I kind of got too engaged with it. It became my baby.
That's good though, when you're really personally invested in a topic. Do you foresee any way that you could kind of really launch this or push it out to people?
I think so. I think if I wanted to make it a little bit more cleaner, I know, and there's a couple of things too where I think there's definitely a great need even to make the website live. So what I wanted to do is probably try to I'm going to actually publish the website. I'm going to clean it up a little bit more and get, some of the, just more like the security measures in place where, I just want to make sure information is not compromised. So kind of get like something like that, and then put like a foot tracker on the website just to see how many people will gain hits for it, just to give co-hosts for it. And then also to maybe really make that element of the course, the workshop, live, just to see how many people will come and actually engage in it. I mean that would be my curiosity at this point. But I just want to also make sure the security elements are okay too, where I want to make sure all that's all ducks in a row. I would definitely want to be responsible if other people, random people, were to enroll into the course. So I guess in that respect, I may want to limit the participant list to people I actually know, so then that way or people that are trustworthy people. Just for now, because I just know there's a lot of security out there, and too many crazy things are going out in this world. I just want to make sure it's a safe environment for everyone, where they feel comfortable.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Vinyetta, and thank you all of you guys. The presentations look great. All your projects really came along this semester, and those of you who started last semester, finishing up this semester, I think Tangee, you're our lone. Student in that regard. But, yeah, so it's really been a 2-semester journey for you. getting this wrapped up. So you guys all did an excellent job, and I'm so excited that you're all, I'm sad to see you go, but really excited for you that you've finished up these projects and just about finished up the semester. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We need the webinar clap.
We'll work on that one. I wonder if there's a raise hand button, but I don't know what happens if you hit it. I wondered if did you see anything when I'm raising and lowering my hand? No.
It did. It gave me an alert, and then it put a big hand over your face in the, in the video.
All right, maybe that's not the way to go. We'll figure it out. All right, well, thank you guys. It was really, it's very exciting to watch these things come to fruition, and I hope you're as excited as I think Kristen and I both were. So
Absolutely. Thank you.
good night, then.
Good night.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.